Going live here. This is Hannibal from the HannibalTV.com with an afternoon news update here. I'll do my Wrestling Observer review early tomorrow morning, probably around midnight. But AEW has once again defeated NXT 0.36 to a 0.22 rating, even with NXT using Charlotte Flair on the show. So I don't know what the score is now, but AEW has definitely been winning the vast majority of the time. The WWE also released their financials today and did a shareholders call. I'll give a brief breakdown of that. Their yearly revenue was a record high $960.4 million. In live events, it was down from last year. They had $125.6 million in revenue. It was $144.2 million last year. This was due to a lower average attendance, among other reasons. For those wondering why WWE did that mix match challenge, which was on Facebook, I guess they were paid about $7 million for that by Facebook, and they didn't have that now, so that is some lost revenue. The yearly network revenue was also down $184.6 million from network revenue, down from $199.3 million last year, that being 2018. Vince McMahon says he's considering selling the rights of major pay-per-views like WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, Survivor Series, possibly to either someone like Fox, who would pay a large amount of money to air it free, or maybe like an ESPN Plus. ESPN Plus recently bought, I think, the rights to the Conor McGregor fight, which I think it was against Cowboy Cerrone, where McGregor knocked out Cerrone in the first round in about 40 seconds. That fight had over 1 million buys, so that's huge money. And if they were to sell the rights of those and not air them on the network, they could get big chunks of money, although it might be even less network subscribers if they do that. So time will tell on that. Vince McMahon said, I guess, on this financials call that Barrios and Wilson, the executives that were announced as fired last week, they were fired due to differences in the visions of the executions of plans going forward. According to Dave Meltzer, Barrios and Wilson, their views are, let's maximize the revenue and profits of WWE, where Vince McMahon has been trying to pay a lot of talent huge contracts and lock them up for like 5-year or more deals, because he doesn't want them jumping to AEW, and he doesn't want AEW to become another major player like WCW. According to Dave Meltzer, Edge was actually signed recently to a bigger deal than what Jericho was asking for from WWE. So even though Edge at this time, at this present day, is actually less of a valued performer than Chris Jericho overall, they actually signed Edge to more than they were offering Jericho, because they wanted to lock Edge up. They don't want another Chris Jericho that can really help AEW grow. I guess the WCW fiasco really took a toll on Vince McMahon, and he still holds a bit of a bad place in his heart over it, and he doesn't want it to happen again. So even though AEW is beating NXT, they're still not getting 1 million viewers. And Raw and SmackDown are both getting around 2 million viewers. So they're not getting anywhere close to what the main shows are getting. It'll be interesting to see if WWE adds more star power to NXT to break this losing streak, because it's getting pretty bad here. I'll answer a couple questions. What was AEW's viewership? It was 900 and something thousand. So they got a 0.36 rating last night. Rational Paragamist says, how is AEW winning when they can't even draw the TV numbers that TNA did back in the day? Well, actually, TNA ratings, I guess when Vince Russo was booking, they were actually getting, I think the highest ever TNA rating was a 1.2. Compare that to Raw's 0.72 rating this week. They were doing well, but it was a different time. Wrestling overall was more popular 10 years ago, 10, 12 years ago. Even though it has more mainstream exposure than ever, general interest in wrestling is down. But who knows? It could change. Competition is good. I like seeing this AEW competition. I'm really happy about it. Big Dummy says Vinnie Mac will swallow the Saudi sword for money. They are getting a lot of money for Saudi Arabia. That's keeping them going strong. And I guess the TV deals they have in place right now, which Barrios and Wilson actually helped WWE get, are worth over $1 billion. So up until at least 2024, WWE is going to be making a lot of money off of TV deals. So there's going to be big money in wrestling till at least 2024. So as I said earlier, when the Wrestling Observer review comes out tomorrow morning, probably around 1 a.m., I'll do it. I'll give you guys the breakdown of this week's Wrestling Observer, and subscribe to this channel to get all my latest news, updates, and interviews. The one I posted yesterday with the investigator that investigated the Boys on the Tracks murders and arranged for a polygraph with Billy Jack Haynes was pretty interesting. And then I also interviewed Tracy Smothers, who is battling cancer, yesterday. That's up on this channel. Got a bunch more interviews coming up, including a full career interview with the Barbarian later this month, which I post all my full shoot interviews ad-free at patreon.com/TheHannibalTV before they ever go on YouTube. And The Hannibal TV is also on Twitter and Instagram at The Hannibal TV. So follow us on there too. Have a good evening, everybody. I'm going to visit my grandmother. Then I'm going to go pump some iron, continue to develop my strength and cardio at the gym. Have a good one, everyone.